Welcome to Death and Aliens, an in-depth look at horror and sci-fi TV from two friends who vaguely know what they're doing. I'm MK.
And I'm Courtney.
And Courtney, how are you?
I'm good. You're a little laggy, so I apologize if I
Oh,
sound weird.
okay.
You're coming back in now, though. You just
Okay.
had just in the intro, you were a little laggy.
Okay.
Um, well, you told me you were going to talk about books this episode, so I'm going to talk about books this episode.
Yeah.
It is September 1st, so I've just done my August wrap up. Please guess how many books I read in August.
It's gonna be so obnoxious, especially then when we find out what
Yes.
my number is. What is it, like 48?
No, it's not that crazy. It's not that crazy. 29.
29. I haven't
Yeah.
even read 29 books yet this year.
I know I've been massively surpassed. I had a goal of 52. I've read like 75 or 76. But I was listening to a lot of audiobooks at work, and I've been doing buddy reads and book challenges like we talked about. And
Yeah.
like I opened my app today and 5 buddy reads started, which they're 3 months long, so like it's fine. I can read five books in the next 3 months. And a lot of them like I already had in my TBR like to read.
Yeah.
Um, like the new Ruth Ware book. Who knew she was gonna write the Woman in Suite 11? Like that wasn't on a radar of anyone until a month ago.
Yeah.
Um, there's just so many crazy books coming out. And I just saw yesterday The Last Thing He Told Me by Laura Dave that I talked about. I read for book club a couple months
Yeah.
ago. She's releasing a sequel. Like, girl, you put out a whole show already and you're coming out with a sequel in January? Like, I mean, I'm kind of glad. I'm not gonna lie, but like, I'm ready to like based on what it's like 5 years later.
Yeah.
Um, so like I'm kind of into it. But these people like Ruth Ware, this is 10 years ago. I think she released the Catwoman in Cabin 10. Like, where have you been? I mean, Ruth Ware's written like a book a year or more.
Right.
Like, so she's still writing, but I just didn't expect her to come back to the series. So now I obviously have to reread Cabin 10 because I don't remember it before I read Sweet 11. So I've got a lot of like up and coming TBRs and a lot of like
Yeah.
trying to do some like retellings, remakes coming up. I'm starting the Sunbearer Trials for one of my book clubs. Um, and so it's I've got a lot on my list, but my top wrap ups I think for the month, I have four that really like got me.
Okay.
I am now in it for B. Schwab. I read A Darker Shade of Magic. I'm picking up Addie LaRue tomorrow. Like I am and I have Barry Arbol's. I got it with Book of the Month a couple months ago. I haven't
Mm.
read it.
Okay.
But I am so in on B. Schwab right now. I
Love it.
loved Darker Shade of Magic. Other I loved A Curse So Dark and loved it. Cannot wait to read more of the series. So I'm ready for you to read that.
Okay.
Um, The Weight of Blood. I'm in it for retellings, I guess, in fantasy this year.
Okay.
Um, The Weight of Blood, I mentioned briefly. It's kind of a retelling remake of Carrie. But it
Yes.
has like a lot of like as opposed to focusing on just the poor elements and the gifted child, like it's also got a lot of like racial discussion. So it was written by a black writer.
Okay.
And it is so good. If you like even think you might want to read it, I highly recommend. What's the fourth book? I had four books that I was like, these are the four that I really enjoyed this year. I need to go back and look at my posts and see what I said. Uh, oh, and Nettle and Bone. I read my first T. Kingfisher book, and
Oh,
I am obsessed. Like all these people that I'm like, I have had them on my like. One day I'll read them. One
yeah.
day I'll know more about them. I read them this month, and I was like, where have I been? So now I've joined 6 buddy reads, 13 Kingfisher books to read
Love
over the
that.
next few months. Um, but like I was just pleasantly surprised by like the fantasy books that I really got. Because I mean I've read a lot of fantasy and I've read a lot of romantasy. I've read like I've been in the world, but it just
Yeah.
like hasn't hit me this good for like a couple of years. Like I just haven't read that great of fantasy books for a few years. Um, I've been reading a lot of thrillers, which
Right.
were the ones that disappointed me this month. I went to read Elisa Joel DNF, didn't make it through the first 10%,
Oh,
and I loved the book I read from her last month. Like it was such a weird month for books, but I'm so glad I'm doing all of these challenges because they've like made me read different things. Like I listened to this audiobook for it's called American Housewife, and
Hmm.
it's an anthology, but it's like kind of a dark comedy. Um,
Yeah,
and it's an anthology of these like women in the 50s and like they kill people or they like it's so wild.
that is
And
wild.
it's like 3 hour audiobook. It was just really fun. And I'm
Yeah,
like, I never would have read that if I didn't like I needed a dark comedy book and I and the month like I'm doing a TV Red color challenge, so the color this month was white. And so I like basically Googled dark comedy and then went through the books and picked the white one. And so like I never would have read it.
right.
So I'm having a lot of fun reading new things and getting into new authors that I didn't know that I needed in my life. So it's been very exciting. Speaking of, I have a couple of series that I'm really interested in getting into.
Okay.
One of them is Accomplice to the Villain. I don't know
That's on my
anything
list.
about it, except everyone keeps telling me it's really good.
Yeah,
And then one you've already started, I want to ask you about is the Zodiac Academy. I know I've asked you before, but now you've read
yeah,
more.
yeah.
Um,
I so that's one of I read six
oh,
books.
there.
I was gonna say
Right, you had
I
read, I
finished.
think, one when I asked you
Oh no,
last.
no, I'm sorry. I read six books total in the month of August.
Oh,
I
okay,
finished
okay.
six books. One of them was the second Zodiac Academy book. So I am only on the third one. Um,
Mhm.
and what I will say is that it is an easy read.
Okay,
Um,
I like
it
that.
it is an easy read. It has a lot of character point of views. So like it does switch
Hmm.
characters who's talking every chapter.
So
So
it's definitely a read, not an audio.
correct.
Mhm.
Um,
Okay.
it depends. If you're going to do an audio, I would say do the graphic audio because the graphic audio
Okay.
has different actors for every character, so you can tell who's talking. Um,
Gotcha.
but yes, I would say read it, not listen to it because it does change point of view every chapter. And
Got
like
it.
the first book, so the main characters are twins. The first book only goes back and forth between the two twins' point of view, but then the second book immediately adds like three or four more characters' point of views.
Gotcha. Okay.
Um, so the thing is, there is a main series, the Zodiac Academy series, and I think there's only like seven books in that series. But then there are like
Here's 12.
in
It's
the
the zodiac signs.
oh, that makes sense. But then there's also but because there's also like three or four additional series that are part of the series that aren't
Mm,
really like separate.
okay.
Um, like there is a whole series that's just from the point of views of the guys in the books, and like it's a
Okay.
very complicated world. Um, it it is a weird thing because I think we talked about this a couple episodes ago where sometimes they just use British words
Yeah.
in the books and it pisses me
Mhm.
off. So that might annoy you, but I don't dislike it. I really like the characters. I really like the world. I will say my sister-in-law, Renee, when she read it, she was on like book three or four, and she was like, you have to read this book, you have to read this book. And then she didn't finish the series. And she said after like the
Mm,
seventh book, she was over
interesting.
it.
Okay.
So I don't know. I have never DNF'd a book in my entire life. I will suffer through it even if I hate it and then give it a terrible review. I don't know how to do it. Um
I've
so
recently started doing it and it's new to me, but
I continue reading the series even if it goes downhill? Yes, but as of right now, after two books, I would recommend it.
okay. I like the world of it. Like you have these three separate sections. Um, and I just screenshotted this morning. Someone keeps talking about the God of Malice series, and there's like that writer has like 12 series that like go
Oh,
within this universe. It is
who
wild.
writes The God of Malice?
That is a great question. I literally don't know anything about it other than like people keep talking about it. It was one of the books of the month that I didn't read. Um,
Right.
Rena Kent or Rina Kent.
Oh, I don't know.
I'll send you the screenshot that I took
Okay.
earlier because it's like I'm telling you, it's like bonkers.
Mm.
It is literally 11 series that go with it, but like, and then there's like two short stories that aren't included. Also, I realized I sent you, I'll talk about it maybe next week, but I sent you something the other day that never went through.
Oh, good.
Um, so I've now sent you both things. We'll talk about the second thing in a different episode. Um, but yeah, so I'm interested in getting into some of these like book talk series that people are talking about. I know some are not going to do it for me. I get
Yeah.
it. Like honestly, like I'm reading the Emily Rath books with a buddy read, and like I probably wouldn't read them if I wasn't reading with a
Yeah.
buddy read. But they're so much fun to talk about with other people. And
Yeah,
like,
I have found that a lot of the book talk fantasy, romantasy books I've been
mhm,
intrigued by. A lot of the book talk just straight romance books I have no interest in reading.
that's fair,
Like,
yeah.
I'll be honest, anything by Colleen Hoover or Emily Henry, I immediately don't care.
See, I'm reading my first Emily Henry this month. I haven't actually read anything of hers. I liked Verity, but I don't care to start any of other like Colleen Hoover books. Like I
Yeah.
think they're going to be too heavy and too lovey-dovey at the same time,
Right.
and that's not for me.
Yeah.
So
Or like all like the icebreakers or the all the ones about like hockey players or like I don't care.
that's the Emily Rath books. I'm only
Yeah.
reading them because it's a buddy read, and it's just bonkers. Like,
Yeah, I like I want to care. I would like to expand my horizons, but I just don't care.
yeah,
Um so like I said, I finished 6 books in August. I finished 6 books in August and I think I've talked about all of them except for well no, now I've talked about all of them because it was they're all parts of my series that I've been reading, except for the Ripper book and the AI book, and I've already talked about those a lot.
yeah.
Um, I know I talked about starting Anna Karenina. I have now read like 4 or 5 more chapters, and um, okay, it's classic literature, and I genuinely think I'm going to like it. But I literally stopped in the middle of a page and had to Google something because the main character of the book, he has his regular full name and then his nickname that people call him. But mid-page, it changed which name they were using. And I was like, I don't know who this character is. I Googled it. I was like, who is Stiva Oblonsky? And it was like, that is the same person as Stepan Arkadievich. And I was like, but why?
Those aren't the same names.
Um, and then I know I was going on and on about how his wife cheated on him. She didn't. He cheated on her. Did not understand that after 2 chapters. Wasn't until the third chapter that I figured out that was not what happened.
That's so funny.
I understand that Tolstoy writes things really drawn out and that the book is like 1 billion pages long and that eventually I will get to the story. I think finally in what I read yesterday, I think I got into what the actual story is going to be about, but I don't even know. So
That's so funny. I've always wanted to read Anna Karenina, but I don't think I can. I
I
don't think I have
think
it in me.
I think I have to. I think I have to immediately when I finish the book watch a movie and
Mm.
figure out if I know anything that just happened.
That's fair. See, I can't like I don't have it in me. Like I don't mind a big book. Like that's not the
Mhm.
issue. I'm happy to read a big book. But I like some of the classics. Like I've gotten to where like there's very few that I want to read that are big. I love a quick classic that's like quick and to the point. I love a Jane Austen. I love it. Like I love a classic, don't get me wrong. I'm not
No.
reading War and Peace. It's not gonna happen. It's
Well,
like
I don't think I'm gonna read War and Peace because I'm now exposing myself to Tolstoy and I don't think I can. Like
yeah.
like I love a big book and I love a big classic. Like I have read
Hmm.
Charles Dickens' longest book and like everybody I know didn't finish it and I did. I love it. I will read a 7,000 page Victor Hugo. I will sell my soul for a 14
I
piece
would try a
edition.
Victor Hugo.
I will
I
sell
think
my
you
soul
could.
for a 14-piece edition of a Charles Dickens novel. I don't know if it's because it was originally written in Russian and Russian is a language I don't understand the
Mm,
cadence of
yeah,
or the storytelling in, if that makes sense. Like,
that does make
I know Victor
sense.
Hugo was originally written in French, but I understand French in the way the
Hmm.
French language tells a story. I understand enough Russian to like know what words are, but I don't understand it enough to like converse in it especially in general, but also in a way that makes flow to the story. And so I think that like I read Siddhartha, which was originally
Hmm.
written in Sanskrit. And I really enjoyed the book, but there were moments in it where I was like, this doesn't sit correctly in English. Like this phrase doesn't have the same meaning. I don't think because it wasn't originally written in this language. And I really feel
Yeah.
like that's how I feel about Tolstoy is that I'm like hanging on for dear life trying to understand it,
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes
which
sense.
is upsetting because I wish that I
Yeah.
could be like that snob who walks around with Tolstoy books and wears dark academia outfits and like feels like shit about everybody else. But
I do love a dark academia though.
I mean,
In my dreams, I hold a knife with dark academia I wrote this month. It was really good.
um, Zodiac Academy, that's the thing I will say. Zodiac Academy has like pieces of it that feel very like super fantasy monster and pieces of it that feel super dark academia.
I love that. I
So,
love that. I think that's why I'm so intrigued by it.
yeah.
So
So, you have a quote for us to get us
I
ready?
do. I do. It's happy. Um, we must accept finite disappointment, but never lose infinite hope. Martin Luther King Jr.
I love that.
Same same.
Sorry. I'm trying to
It's
multitask and
okay.
I
I
don't
was
know
like, it's your
why.
turn.
I know, I'm just trying to multitask and I don't know why I think that's possible, but that's fine. Um, we are talking today about in my notes, I write what episode number of the podcast it's going to be. And then I started to read that like anybody actually cares. We're talking about Stargate SG-1, Season 8, Episode 6. It is called Avatar. It is not about blue people or Chinese elemental benders, but um, it was rated 7.5 stars.
Okay, okay.
It came out on Friday, August 13th, 2004. So it's Friday the 13th.
Love it.
Um,
I think we get a Friday the 13th in October this year.
I don't think we do.
I think someone said that.
Yeah, I think someone lied to you. Is it one of the things where they said Halloween is on Friday the 13th this year? Because I see that every year. No,
No.
I'm pretty sure the 13th. Yeah, the 13th is
That's a
Columbus Day.
Monday.
Yeah, that's why I was like, I think they lied to you because I'm pretty sure I have a doctor's appointment that day.
Liars. How rude.
Yeah. So
Ugh.
our book and song are the same as last week, but our new top movie is Alien versus Predator.
Nice, nice. I haven't watched any of those movies.
Neither. I have no
So,
desire. I went on the Stitch's Escape ride at Disney when I was a kid, when it was still Alien before it was Stitch, and I will never watch an Alien movie because that was terrifying.
that's so funny.
Um, on this day, Hurricane Charlie made landfall in Cape Coral,
Yeah.
Florida.
Hmm.
It was the opening ceremony of the Athens Summer Olympic Games. And a group of women in India killed an alleged rapist during his trial because they didn't think he was going to get convicted.
Good for them. Good for them. I
So,
love it.
what a day. Lots of
What
things
a
happening.
day. Mhm.
Um, this episode was directed by Martin Wood, written by Damian Kindler, and edited by Eric Hill. Um, our guest actor is actually someone we don't see their face. Um, because Dr. Carmichael is the only like new character, but he has already been in the show as a different character before, so we have already talked about him.
Okay.
So our guest actor is actually the man who plays the Cull Warriors, the body there. His
Okay.
name is Dan Payne. He is known for Watchmen, Mulligans, and Cabin in the Woods. Um,
I watched Cabin in the Woods.
yeah, me too. I don't remember what his character in Cabin in the Woods was.
I mean,
Um,
I don't know what he looks like, so I
that's also true.
go look him
Well,
up.
here's the thing. You probably do know what he looks like when I tell you the another thing, maybe. Um, because it's in my notes later. He I don't know what he did in Cabin in the Woods. He does have a very handsome face, but he is he was born in British Columbia, but he moved throughout the whole world all throughout his youth. He lived in a lot of different places. He is 6'4" and weighs 230 pounds, so he is not a small man. So that is why
Mhm.
playing the Call Warriors works. Um, he also did not originally start wanting to be an actor. He went to the University of Calgary and was playing volleyball. He was going to play professional volleyball. He coached volleyball camps for kids with special needs.
Aw.
And then after college, he moved to Australia with his brother and discovered photography and got really into like photography and then via photography into like cinematography. And that was actually his way into the entertainment industry.
Oh,
Um, but
nice.
but he does have over 120 acting credits, many of which are Hallmark movies. But he plays the Beast in the Descendants franchise.
Oh,
So he is
I
a
haven't
handsome.
I haven't actually watched The
I've
Descendants.
only seen the first one, but I've heard that they're not bad.
That's
Like,
what I've heard too.
like
I've
I've
heard
I've
that too.
heard that in terms of Disney Channel original movies, and especially with how weird Disney Channel original movies have gotten, Descendants is really
Yeah,
not bad. So,
yeah.
at least the first two. I don't know if it like continued to spiral now that they've made like eight. Um,
Yeah,
um,
very fair.
but the first one I have seen and it was good. And well, Cameron Boyce was in it. So sad.
Oh, that's the one that I don't know very well, but I have.
What? Cameron Boyce, he's the one who died.
Mhm.
Yeah. But yeah, so he was the Beast in the Descendants franchise. So not an unattractive man, but he's also
Yeah, I mean, I
very
just looked him up and like he has one of those faces, so I'm like,
yeah.
I know you,
Hmm.
but
Hmm.
like
Um,
I couldn't place you. I can just look at you and say, I know you.
so the synopsis for this episode, I copied the IMDb synopsis, but it is unreasonably long. Um,
Okay.
and it gives like all of the details of the episode. Like it literally is like this is what the episode is. So I'm not really gonna read it. Um,
Fair.
because we're just gonna talk about it. But I do want to read what the Amazon thing said because remember my hint for you about this episode was that someone died.
Yeah.
And that's really not at all what happens in the episode. But this
No,
is
it's not. Yeah, yeah.
let me sorry, my computer's really not enjoying me telling it what to
Mine
do.
too. I'm trying to prioritize. That's what I'm doing right now. Is I'm prioritizing my laptop and my Wi-Fi.
Got it. This is what it says on IMDb or on Amazon. The Wold super soldier drones have breached the gate room and have killed Brigadier General Jack O'Neill. In a bold move, Teal'c retrieves a modified P-90 sidearm and takes out the drone.
Yeah, yeah.
That is literally not what happens in this episode. I
It
mean,
is not. It is a what if.
technically both of those things happened in this episode, but that is literally not what happens in this episode. And so Dan goes, "Wait, Jack died?"
Right,
I go,
right. Yeah. I am glad I didn't read that because I would have gone into this with a much different
"Yeah,
mindset than
yeah." Whereas
I did.
the IMDb is
Like
a
word for word the plot.
a right. It says Dr. Lee is adapting a virtual reality chair for use as a training device. Teal'c thinks its current scenario is all too easy and agrees to work with them to make it more realistic. He enters the game scenario and is quickly killed, at which point the chair shocks him. Lee says it must be a part of its basic like it's literally the actual.
Jesus Christ, yeah.
So
Wild.
it yeah. Um but so the episode starts with a red alert and everyone runs to the gate room where a call warrior is attacking. The warrior kills Jack and Teal'c defeats it. And then Teal'c is transported immediately out of that situation into the regular SGC where we find out that that was a simulation.
Yeah, so I was like, I know we said this isn't Avatar, Blue People Avatar, Elemental, but like, this is how Avatar Blue
Yeah,
People worked. Like,
yeah,
is
yeah,
this where
yeah,
James Cameron got his inspiration for that movie?
yeah.
Like,
I don't I mean that is what an avatar is. It's your face in a digital world. Like your
right.
avatar on Sims is the character that you play as, the one you take. the
Right.
letter out
And I
of
mean,
pool.
I guess I have not seen other instances where they've used it in this specific way, I
I
guess,
mean,
where they put you in a body simulation.
that's the whole plot of Ready Player One.
Oh, see, I don't know. I
Mm.
haven't read Ready Player One. I had it on my list a few years back, and then
I
just
haven't
didn't.
read the book either, but I have seen the movie.
I've seen the movie
And
either.
I've heard from people who have read the book that the movie is actually a pretty decent um
Yeah.
telling. But so he tells Dr. Lee that the program's too easy and that the call warrior was taken out too easily and that that's not what fighting a call warrior actually is. Dr. Lee is very upset because the simulation is he wants to be able to use it to train SG warriors or SG warriors, SG like people so that there is they can know what they're up against before they go out into the real like training. And he says the simulation is based on memories of the subjects and it needs to learn. But all the previous test subjects have been lab assistants, so no one with any actual field knowledge has done it. So
Yeah.
they can't they don't have a way to use the real field experience, and let alone for someone who has as much field experience as Teal'c. So Teal'c agrees to play the game for a while to help increase the difficulty so that the training system can be used to actually train people. And then
Mhm.
we get our credits. So,
Which is very like interesting and like this is a really good idea for training.
mhm,
Um, I mean, for any type of military or
yeah.
warlike zone, like this is really smart. Um, if it's not a game, but actually set up like real world experience.
Well,
So it
I
makes
don't,
sense for Tope to go in to like refine it, I guess.
yeah, and I don't like that they kept calling it a game because
Yeah.
I don't really think even in practice in the episode, it isn't actually a game. It is a training
Yeah.
simulation. But then they just kept calling it the game, and that was what bothered me. Not what they were doing, but the language they were using about it.
I think it's just that like without the refinement from like the team people who have been in the field, like it is more like a game because it doesn't give you the real life experience you need.
Well, and because
Um,
also it literally looked like GoldenEye 007 on the
right.
Nintendo GameCube or Nintendo 64 on the screen.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Well, we are in 2003. Are we in 3 or
2004,
4?
we're in 2004.
2004.
So, I mean, I guess that is the same time that people were playing N64 games. No, by 2004 we would have had GameCube. Graphics would have been a little better.
2004 wasn't GameCube because I bought that. That was my first gaming system I bought by myself, and I think it was in high school, and I
No,
started high school in '07.
see, but I had a GameCube before I moved to my house on Lewiston Road that I moved into in the summer of 2006. So we had a GameCube before 2006. It came out in 2001. Yep.
Oh my gosh, you're right. I was just behind the
I was like,
times.
I know, I was like, I knew for a fact that we had a GameCube at the house on Cleveland Avenue. So we had to have had it at least before
Interesting.
2000,
Interesting.
Christmas of 2005. So
Interesting. So I'm just really behind the times and
yeah,
everything. That's fine. I mean, what's new? I love a gaming system and I'm 5 years behind in all of them, so
yeah, yeah.
it's fine.
It's fine. My biggest problem is that all I want to do ever is play um original Wii games or GameCube games. And my original Wii, like the Wii was GameCube back compatible, but then
Oh,
The Wii
yeah, I
U
forgot.
isn't.
Mm. See,
So
I only have the original Wii, which I'm supposed to take from my mom's house and bring to my house, and I keep forgetting.
yeah, if you have GameCube games and a GameCube controller, you can play them on the Wii. The biggest problem is that they're so old that most of the games are just they don't play correctly anymore.
I wonder, well, so here's the thing. I bought GameCube for Pokemon Coliseum,
Mm,
and then never cared about anything else that happened with GameCube. So like that, like, and Pokemon games tend to hold up. Like, so I think it would still play fine in the Wii, um,
maybe. I
because
mean,
it's a
maybe.
basic structure. Like, like it's not like they got crazy
No,
with it.
no, it's not even that. It's the actual physical integrity of the like
Right.
computer programming. Like
Yeah.
my brother
That's fair.
bought a used GameCube just to try to like make it work, and it was in good condition, but it's still
I mean, GameCube can't always suck.
yeah. But the
It
um
always is a little
Sonic
lacking.
Adventure 2. Sonic Adventure 2,
Mm.
Super
See,
Mario
I played that
Sunshine.
on Sega. I played Sonic on
Sonic
Sega.
Adventure 2, Super Mario Sunshine, and we had uh the Legend of Zelda Mega Pack that had Ocarina, Majora's Mask, and the old NES games all on one disc.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah.
I just want to play Sonic Adventure 2 and Super Mario Sunshine, but I was playing Dan and I were at Doug's and we were playing the new Mario World Kart World, and
Hmm.
you can be one of the Piantas from Super Mario Sunshine in that game, and I picked the Pianta, and Dan was like, "What is that?" I go, "How dare
I
you?"
never played Sunshine. I knew about it, but I never played it.
Ugh.
I think Sonic Adventure 2, I think all of those games are on the Nintendo Play on Switch now.
Mm.
Like I think you can play all of the originals
Yeah,
on
but now
there.
there's even a new Switch, so like,
Yeah, I'm not there yet.
yeah.
I'm not there yet. I'm playing my tiny bookshop on my tiny old Switch, so like just what it is.
Um, but so they set up a monitor and they tell Teal'c how the system's going to work. It's going to get harder as it goes because it's learning from him. If he dies in the game, it'll reset. It won't be like you died in real life. It'll just reset the level and you'll have to start over. He can only escape the simulation by beating it or by using the failsafe. There's a failsafe built into it. And this is where we see our super 2000s video game level animation on the monitor. Um, the, um, so the game starts. Teal'c enters the gate room as before, but this time he gets killed. When he dies, the chair shocks him. And Dr. Lee does not love that the simulation can hurt him. He's very upset. And Sam's like, um, it's important because you make different choices when you think you can't get hurt.
Right.
Which is actually super valid because it's why people who play Call of Duty all the time could never actually survive in a war because they're not never actually going to die.
You're right. Yeah.
Um, so so then we go back to the simulation. Teal'c takes a different path to the gate room, but he arrives too late. O'Neill is very dead, and the Cull comes up behind him and kills him again. And Dr. Lee is now very worried that the chair is learning too fast, that if
Mhm.
the game is gonna get too hard.
Yep.
But Teal'c is smart, and so simulation Teal'c he grabs a vest this time before going after the Cull, and he plays a much more defensive game, but again, the Cull gets him from behind. So I just see it happening over and over again. Um, Daniel is now there with Sam to watch the simulation. And Sam and Dr. Lee are worried about the bio readings because every time Teal'c dies, he gets shocked. And so his actual real life biology is not looking great. So they call in a doctor to come watch this with them. Um, Simulation Teal'c grabs Sam and in the simulation, obviously, to help him seal off the floor because there are two call warriors. And apparently, they're using predictable pathing in the simulation. Teal'c's trying to outsmart them, so he keeps going one step farther in this game, but he dies again. Um, Dr. Carmichael comes and he's checking everything out, and he is also very much not happy. He says that Teal'c's heart rate and blood pressure are not sustainable and that he needs to get out of the game and has probably less than a day.
It's just wild. It's just wild.
Um,
Mhm.
Teal'c uses his knowledge in the game and basically creates this world where Sam has already made a weapon that will take out the energy resistance that the Cull have now. But then they put the base under self-destruct. So Teal'c takes out the warriors and Sam kills the auto-destruct. But even though the threat has been eliminated, the simulation isn't releasing it. He thinks that they've done it, they've beat everything, but it isn't working. And Sam and Daniel think that Teal'c has somehow changed the ending of the game because it's learning from him. And because of the way Teal'c sees battles, they think that the destruction of the entirety of the global world is the only thing that Teal'c's brain will allow to be the end of the simulation. But no one's really sure what's happening because they can't really see what the game is deciding. And they can't release him without seriously damaging his brain. And because it's Teal'c, he's never going to just quit.
I feel like I mean, someone has created this simulation. So I feel like that same somebody could watch the code as it's like playing through and see where we've gone
This
off the rails.
this episode isn't a perfect example of everything I've been talking about for the last 3 weeks about why AI is dangerous.
Yeah, yeah. But like even so, like you can because like
No,
you can watch the coding for AI, even if it's making its own decisions, you can watch it and figure out what's going on. And it's like
yeah,
it
but
could.
that's not true. That's not true because even like so you can in a way, but like in the book that I was reading, when Google changed their search engine to have AI ranks
Mhm.
like search hits for you and blah blah blah, and
Yeah.
it stopped being manual. Google scientists can read the code. They can tell you what AI
Yeah.
did. They can't explain why.
Right.
They can't figure out what is changing from the original parameters to the decision. And that's what
Right.
Dr. Lee's doing right here. He goes, "This is what we told the game to do. This is what it's doing. The link is what's missing." He can't piece together the link.
Right.
And that's
But I'm
what
saying
it's
like if you see the code is different, if you can find a way to send in like a command to be like reverse
but
the code and do this. I don't know enough about coding.
when you have a coding that learns as it
Hmm.
goes, unless you take away what it's learning from, no matter what you add, it's still going to learn. So
Right.
he can change the coding, but everything it gets from Teal'c won't stop. Like it won't be able to stop learning from Teal'c. So even if he and because he
Right.
can't, but because they also can't see the why, because the original and the end result are both there, but the why is missing. There's no way to know what code to change for it to take the information differently.
Well, I just mean more like if you're watching the code and you're like, this has changed, this is not the same. Can you send in like command end? Like,
No,
and it like stops.
no, AI is way more complicated coding than that.
I mean, I don't know, it wants me to learn coding all the time. I don't do that.
Yeah, no, I mean because you don't know the why, even if you change command that thing to end, you don't know what else will then change because of it.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense. That makes
Yeah.
sense. Yeah.
I'm so glad I read that AI book.
I'm never reading it.
Um, so oh, so in the simulation, they're now going to a debrief because supposedly the simulation is over. And Teal'c is like, the base isn't safe. And simulation Daniel and Sam are like, what are you talking about? Like, this is really confusing. We ever did it. We lost their mind. Like, he thinks they lost his mind, that he's not okay. They keep asking him if he's fine. And he's like, I am fine. I'm telling you, this should be over. And it's not. Something else is wrong.
Yeah.
The self-destruct turns back on, and this time Sam is locked out of it, and they all die
Mhm.
again. Oh, this is when Dr. Carmichael says that Teal'c has less than a day before he will die because his heart cannot take the rapid amount of jolts. And even though the chair is designed to never send a lethal amount of electricity, even an unlethal amount of electricity repeated over that many times in that short amount of time, it becomes lethal. So, even as Teal'c moves faster in the game, he's still not able to defeat them. His body is now deteriorating, and it like he can't move at his full potential in the game because the physical deterioration is starting to bleed into the game.
Yeah.
So he goes to the elevator to find the failsafe. Goes up in the elevator, he gets to the first floor. When he walks out of the elevator, the game has restarted instead of letting him use the failsafe because the game has taken from Teal'c's mind that quitting is not an option.
Yeah, which is just bonkers. Like, is that like Jack says it's best. Um, what did he say?
He says, I thought the whole idea of a failsafe was that it was safe from failure.
Right. And I was like, 100% Jack, I'm
Yeah,
with you. Like,
yeah,
100%.
he's pissed.
Yeah.
Sam and Dr. Lee are like, no, but like that's the only explanation is that the game read Teal'c's mind and knew that he would not actually have given up. So they're trying to figure out like what the game is doing. And this is where the conversation about AI and what it really means comes in because the game doesn't have an ego. The game is not trying to win in any sense of personal gain. The game is trying to win in the sense that the parameters tell you beat this, like win this scenario. So it is going
Yeah.
to win this scenario. And every time it gets new information on how to win, how it could lose, it uses that loss to make a better win percentage.
Right.
It's like playing chess against the computer. Like when it learns what you're doing, it makes different moves. Like
Hmm.
that's so the biggest problem is that Teal'c has an ego. And Teal'c's ego went into the game thinking it was too easy, which means that what he put into the game was also mocking the game. So it is never going to stop changing on him because he
Right.
and um and there's the idea of like, and what is, if the goal is to beat someone's subconscious, what is their subconscious really saying?
Hmm.
However, it doesn't matter what the parameters of the game are. Teal'c physically cannot do this.
Right.
We get another montage of Teal'c playing. He keeps doing better, and no matter how much better he does, no matter how much faster he moves, the game gets harder. Um, Teal'c finally defeats all of the Call Warriors, thinks he's this time he's got it, but then a Naquita generator has been rigged and is going to explode. So they take the generator to the gate room to dial up, but the dialing takes too long, and Daniel, inhabited by a Goa'uld, stops them from being able to get out in time. The generator explodes and they die.
Yeah.
The next time
Fun
through the
times.
Yeah, the next time through the game, Teal'c just sits it out.
I was
Like
like, I don't blame him.
we
He's
just
got
see a
to rest his
montage of him
body.
just we just see a montage of him just giving up both physically and emotionally, just sitting there as the game keeps going on and on around him and everyone
Yeah.
keeps dying. So Sam decides to try to figure out how to trick the game. And she talks to the people on the planet where they got this chair from, which, if you remember, is from season one, the Gamekeeper episode, where they were all trapped in their own virtual realities. And Sam or Daniel had to watch his parents die over and over and over again. And apparently, the chairs and the people on that planet kept imprints of their memories, which Sam was like, let's not get started on that at the moment. I'm kind of glad they have it for this purpose.
Yeah.
So she's going through and she's taking it down, and the game while and she's basically playing a simulated version of the simulation with Teal'c's memories, and Teal'c, season one Teal'c, was much less experienced, so the difficulty is not getting as fast. But Sam realizes that the biggest problem is that 7 years ago, Teal'c truly, in his heart of hearts, did not believe that they would ever make it out of the war with the Goa'uld.
Yeah.
And if that hasn't changed, if that is still where his subconscious is sitting, he's never going to win the game because in his heart, it's not over.
Yeah. I will say I watched this while I was very sleepy, and some of this got a little conflated for me. And I was like, I know Mary Kate's just gonna explain it to
Yeah.
me.
But that made me so sad because like that is our the moment where we see that no matter how much growth they've made, the fact that yes, we're now on season 8 and the original bad guy is still out there in a different name, in a different shape, but what they're fighting hasn't
Yeah.
gotten easier. And that must be disheartening, especially coming from Teal, who this is his whole life.
Yeah.
So they're back in the lab trying to figure out what to do to try to save Teal'c because it's just getting out of control. And Jack makes a joke about using a joystick and like playing Teal'c simulation like a video game to help Teal'c out. And Sam is like, "You did it again, sir." He goes, What did I do?" Jack's
This is something I would do.
every time Jack has a brilliant idea that he doesn't actually know how he did it, and you have to then explain it to him in normal people language. It's my favorite.
I will say I wished more of my unhinged solutions were actual solutions and not just unhinged.
Yeah, no, my
So,
favorite actual part of this episode was at the beginning when in terms of like saying things that are so unnecessary, was at the beginning when Sam was explaining the simulation to Teal'c and he goes, "You've already told me how to do this." Which just is like, "Hey, by the way, we're telling the audience."
right, right. Yeah.
Um, but so Sam explains that it might actually work because If they link a second chair to the first chair, both of them will be in the same simulation. However, if they don't link the second chair to the video monitor, they get rid of that 2 second delay that exists because of the loop of the video monitor. And the second player would be able to see 2 seconds into the future what was coming and would be able to give Teal'c information before it got there. Not that 2 seconds is a lot of time, but
Sure.
it's enough time to not be zero, I guess. I don't know. I genuinely try to think about what I could do in 2 seconds. Nothing. The answer is nothing.
The problem is that like everything is moving so fast in my brain that like I have a 2 second delay half the time just because like when people talk to me like it's that I didn't know much about this but like auditory processing because like I know what you said
Oh
and
yeah.
then I might ask what or I may react or whatever and then I like respond to myself and like that is too long in a 2 second situation.
Correct. I also have auditory processing delays where people tell me something, I say what, and then I answer the question,
Yeah,
and then they're confused that I asked them what. But
yeah,
yeah, that's ADHD.
yeah, yeah. And so like I react quickly, but it's not always correct.
Right.
Like,
Well, and that's the crazy thing is if something is falling near me, I will catch it every time. I
mhm,
mean, things don't drop. Like I catch things and it's an amazing. And people are like, oh
yeah,
wow, your reflexes are great. But then you tell me something and I have no idea what you said.
right. So like I might have put up a shield at the right time if I have 2 seconds to prepare for you to shoot at me. But like
But am I gonna be able to tell
I'm
you
not
to
gonna
move?
realize I've done that until later.
Or
Yeah.
like, or like, I will be able to move out of the way, but then as you're falling from being shot, I'll be like, oh yeah, I meant to tell you to move.
Right. So
The doctors think it could be terrible, and that whoever this person is will then end up stuck with Teal'c and also dying by massive amounts of electrical energy. And every single member of SG-1 says, I'll do it.
yeah.
But they choose Daniel to go into the game, which is actually the most correct response. My Dan was like, why?
I thought
But
it was a good choice.
Daniel, of the three of them, Daniel has the least military adapted training in his brain for the game to learn from.
Hmm. Hmm.
So, he has, I mean, obviously, nothing that Daniel has experienced, Teal'c hasn't.
Right.
Whereas Jack and Sam have prior military warfare experience, especially Jack's Black Ops experience. We don't need the game to learn that.
Right. Well, and I think it makes sense because like where we're coming from with like a layperson with no field experience who's created this game, Daniel's the closest to that because even though he's been in the field,
Yeah.
he's still closer to that than any like you're saying he's closer than any of the others are. And so it makes sense that he's gonna have the best outcome because he's more what it's tailored for than your Black Ops
Well,
Jack.
yeah, and also just like in terms of the game continuously learning, why would you
Hmm.
want to introduce different warfare to a game that the problem is it's now reached too far into things?
Right.
Like we want to dumb it down. We don't want to add more information. To be
Right.
honest, the smartest person to send in there would be somebody like Dr. Lee, who has no fucking experience
Yeah.
whatsoever. But A, Teal'c wouldn't trust Dr. Lee, and B, if Dr. Lee went in there, who would be monitoring the simulation?
Sure. Yeah.
So, um, but because in the last simulation, Daniel was a gold, Teal'c just immediately takes him out.
Why not? Yeah.
That, which Jack is like, why did we do this? Um, but Daniel's vision in the game, we get to see what Daniel's vision with his precognition looks like, and it's fucking weird. Um, although kudos to the FX team on the way that that movement worked.
Yeah.
He tries to ambush Teal'c. Teal'c takes him out anyway. So now Daniel's been dead twice.
Or 7,000 times. We added all of SG.
Well, yeah. So then Daniel gets smart and he grabs a, my God, I just blanked on what they're called.
The Zacker? I don't
Zat.
know what the
No, the
Is that what
Zat
you
gun. He
grabbed?
grabbed a
That
Zat
was
gun.
my
The
guess.
word the word Zat was not in my brain at all. I was like, what's that thing? I have one right here. I can pick it up, but the
Yeah.
word it's called, no idea. So he grabs a Zat gun and he stuns Teal'c once so that Teal'c can't shoot at him while he talks to Teal'c and explains everything. And when he's able to explain the different times that the simulation happened, obviously nobody else in simulation world understands that it's a simulation. So Teal'c
Yeah.
does understand that this is legit and that Daniel's not making it up or a Goa'uld because he wouldn't know about the prior simulations. So they decide they have to work together to do this. But back at the lab, we find out that if Teal'c's heart stops one more time, he will go into cardiac arrest.
And doesn't
Unfortunately,
have Junior to protect him.
Teal'c is shot again, and his heart does stop for real.
Hmm.
Um, because they can't resuscitate him with an AED or like a shock pad because he's hooked up to the chair, Dr. Carmichael like jabs a needle into his chest, and I meant to look up what the drug that they do that with is called.
I
Um,
knew it. I knew it, and I can't remember what it is, but I knew what that drug was.
Restart heart drug. What? No, I don't know who Gerard is. I typed too fast and I wrote restart Gerard drug. And then it started telling me about Gerard Way and drugs. And I was like, that's literally not what I was
That's not the
asking.
same.
That is not what I was trying to do. I don't know. There's a lot of them apparently.
No, but there's
Oh,
like a main one,
there's
like
okay, the main one is like epinephrine, which is just adrenaline straight to the heart. But
right,
there's a
right.
couple different drugs that have that in them depending on what they're trying to do to your heart. But basically, he
Hmm.
just like just does a fucking needle full of adrenaline straight to the heart. Um, Jack's freaked out. He was like, I'm not gonna be able to do that again. And Jack's like, I don't want to see that ever again. It's so funny when
Yeah,
Jack gets squeamish for
I
weird.
know. Bless his
Um,
heart.
so then we're in the simulation. Daniel stops the first call because he's able to see in the future and and they shoot the call and then they keep going. But when the second one appears, Teal doesn't stop, shoot it. And Daniel's like, why? So he explains that he's figured out at this point the call warriors are actually just a diversion. If they waste the time searching for the call warriors and killing them, that is what gives the Goa'uld a chance to head toward either the Naquadah generator or the self-destruct button. Um, they take a chance on it being the Naquadah generator. They get to the room and Sylar is knocked out on the ground and Sam is um, messing with the generator and Teal'c assumes that Sam is messing with it because she's the Goa'uld and so he like threatens her. Jack gets there and it's like what's going on? So now all four of them are in a standoff, like each having a gun pointed at another one. And Sam's like, Sylar was the Goa'uld. I already took him out. Like, I'm going to do like if I don't fix the Naquadah generator, we will all die. And basically, it's really beautiful acting because no words are spoken, but it's all acting in Christopher Judge's face. And Teal'c has to like take that moment to recognize that the only way he will ever defeat the Goa'uld isn't by doing it himself, it's by having his team, and that they are what saved him. And so he puts his gun down. Sam resets the generator. They win the game. They come out of it, and everything's okay.
Thank goodness.
Thank goodness. Um, so what are your thoughts? What are your feelings?
Um, I mean, I really liked it. I liked the episode. I thought that there was a lot going on. That's good for his question. I mean, we talked a lot, obviously, but we
Yeah.
do talk a lot anyways. And so like I really thought that this was a good sci-fi episode. Like
Yeah. Well,
I love a
and
simulation.
it's interesting
So
because when this episode got pitched, Joseph Malozzi didn't want to do it because he was like, it's such a
interesting.
sci-fi cliche. And then I don't remember who he said it was, but it was one of the other producers was like, but that's why sci-fi is what it is, because this is the language people expect to hear from it. This is the
Yeah.
things that they were like, you do it differently. You do it with good characters, you do it with good writing, but the tropes are have lasted and become tropes for a reason. And so
Right.
he like folded and let them take it and this is how it turned out. And so I think it was pretty good.
I thought it was really good too. I really liked it. I mean, it's a one-off, so it
Yeah.
just is what it is. But
Yeah.
I think I liked that everyone was so involved in it.
Well, it is a one-off and it isn't in the sense that because the one thing that Stargate does a lot that I sometimes find annoying and sometimes find great is that even when it's a one-off, it's always connected to something. Like these
Yeah,
chairs, we saw them in season one, and now we haven't seen them again till now, which is great. This technology that they're working on developing, sure, we may never have a simulation episode ever again, but that doesn't mean that this technology has stopped existing.
right.
Like it's not ready. But that doesn't mean that it couldn't be ready at some point. Like they when they make this technology, when they do these things, they do nicely keep them integrated into the world that they're in.
Yeah, yeah,
So that's nice.
yeah. So I mean, that's it. There's not a lot. I feel like I've said a lot, so I feel like there's a
Yeah.
lot left
No,
for me
it's
to
okay.
say.
It's all right. I do have a couple tiny pieces of trivia and they're all kind of
Love it.
small. Um, but so there are 22 different times that they go through different realities in the
Okay.
game. I think there are only 11 that we see all the way through, but based on other things that they say and like what they count, the official count is 22
Mhm.
different times. Which good to know that 21 deaths is all Teal'c's heart can
It's too
take.
right, right.
Um, when the generator overloads in this scene, like in the end of the episode, if you this is so dumb and so small, if you notice what the Nakoda generator looked like in the last scene with Sam versus in the first scene where it overloaded, they're not the same color. Um,
Okay. I
right,
I
because why
noticed the
would
change
you?
in that.
Because why would you notice that? But it's actually because they've been sharing the prop with the Atlantis set that day and the battery was dying.
Oh, that's so funny.
Which
Oh my gosh, that's so
I just
funny.
find that so funny that they were like, ooh.
Yes.
And then there is one line of this episode that is entirely improv.
Is the fail-safe one?
No, no, it's a Teal'c line. And it is because when Sam is trying to talk to him about video games at the beginning of the game, she asks if he's ever played Dune. And he says no, he plays Def Jam Vendetta. Christopher Judge is the voice of the main character in Jam Vendetta.
Oh, I love
And so
that.
he threw that's why he has such a cheesy little smirk on his face when he says it. It's because it's his game.
Oh, that's funny. I like that.
Yeah. So that is the episode. Um, the next things are about to get real fucking weird in Stargate Land. The next week, the next episode we are watching is Stargate Atlantis, season one, episode 6. Everything's fine there. But the next episode of SG-1 that we are watching is not episode 7.
Yeah.
It is episode 8 because the original airing order and the story order are not the same. And because we're doing the story order, because we're doing adding the Atlantis episodes in, I am doing story order, not airing order, as annoying as that will be to some of our fans, Douglas. Uh so there's that. So the next episode that we're watching for SG-1 is Covenant, not
Okay.
Affinity.
Got it. Got it.
Yes. But I will remind you guys again after the Atlantis episode because next week's episode is Atlantis. So,
Perfect.
all
That's
right.
good news.
Before we move on though, who do you want to punch?
No one really did anything punchable, I guess. So I think I'm just gonna go with like Dr. Lee because
Okay. I picked Dr. Carmichael for the same reason.
yeah.
So he didn't really do
Right.
anything punchable really, but he annoyed me and he just kept talking about Teal'c dying and rude. Um,
Yeah. Yeah. I was
um,
those would have been the two I would
yeah. Who's your MVP?
Oh, Tilk.
Okay. I did not pick Teal'c.
Okay.
Because I genuinely, as wonderful as Teal'c is, and as much as this episode is about him, I don't think he ever would have come to terms or come around on his own. I think he would have. So I picked Daniel because I
Yeah.
really do think that if it hadn't been for Daniel and Daniel's little pep talk, Teal'c never would have come around to the truth of the situation. So
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
yeah. So yeah, that is our episode. Like I said, next week we will be watching Stargate Atlantis, season one, episode 6, um,
Mhm.
which is called Childhood's End. And
I don't know the title of that episode.
what's that?
I don't think I looked at the title of that episode.
No, that's okay. It's interesting. It's a
Yeah.
it's an interesting concept, that is for
Hmm.
sure. So
Yeah.
we will see you.
You can talk to us though.
Oh yeah, no, I know, but we'll see you before. I was gonna say we'll see you before
Oh.
that on
Oh, I
Thursday for
see.
an
Yeah, yeah,
episode
yeah.
of American Horror Story.
Right.
But if you would like to talk to us about Stargate or American Horror Story, if you have suggestions for future shows for us to watch, you can reach out to us at deathandaliens@gmail.com or on any of the social media at Death and Aliens. You can follow me everywhere at EMKAY_superstar.
And you can find me at CE Cloud 13.
And we will see you on Thursday. Bye.